Hello, my name is Daniel Hinojosa, and this is my life story so far. Before I was even brought into this world, my father had already left my mother and went on with his life. You can imagine a life without a father figure, only having a mother to look up to, and not even just that, not even a mother figure. Shortly after turning 5 years old, she had unfortunately passed away. You can try to imagine a life without a father who literally abandoned you before you were even born, and then a mother who was so unfortunate to have died at an early age. She was around in her 20s when she had died. Me being 5 years old, I had no clue what was going on, and hell, I didn't even know that she had died, which is very surprising and very shocking. Or I don't know, that could be seen as that. At the time, I just didn't know any of this was happening. I just knew that there were some issues dealing with my aunt and my grandpa and other family members, but nothing like that. After her tragic death, we stuck around with my grandpa and my aunt, who soon after had issues between themselves, and eventually I was caught up in it where I had to make a big decision of whether I want to stay with my grandpa or my aunt. Maybe she realized that at that age no child should be making such huge decision, so she just took me in and took care of me. In my early teenage years, I got into gaming, where I would meet some people. Only a few would stay alongside. One person, out of all of them, stuck out to me. We'll call him William. William was the one person who I could really understand and talk with. He became a really good friend, a best friend if you would like to call him that. But as all good things have, it had its up and downs. Although the friendship came with many unliked features, I would turn the negativity between William and I into something else. Because of him and other events going on in my life, I was dealing with some issues that I guess would fall under my mentality. And to further my explanation here is that early on in life to now, I would constantly come up with stories in my head. I would create several scenarios, worlds, a whole universe where I would create and manipulate characters and situations. It's sort of my thing where I would just create these amazing, extraordinary, unique, well, I would like to consider them unique stories, and it was just like something, it was like an activity that I would do to pass time and whatever, and they would eventually just take over and sort of like distract me in anything that I would do. I'm not entirely sure how or why I started to get this habit, but as of now, I'll just call it like my coping mechanism for whenever I just want to go away from the real world or whatever. As said before, William was affecting me in a bad way. Around sophomore year of high school, I, for some unknown and strange reason, started to create a play-like 14-page story where those issues with William were resolved in a very dramatic and unrealistic way. Even with how odd this sounds, I am happy that it happened, as it accidentally got me intrigued into a certain topic. Fast forward to junior year of high school. I was taking an English college level class where I would meet the professor I will always be grateful for. To respect his privacy, I won't share his name. Anyways, for this English class, the first assignment was to write a 2-page narrative essay. At the time, I could barely even write 1 page, so this was something I thought would be impossible for me to do, until I remembered about the story that I wrote back in sophomore year. I submitted that story, except I was so stupid about it and sent it like if it was an actual play. The professor later asked me if I tried writing a screenplay. I had no intention or clue what that was, and he educated me about it. He even provided the screenplay for A Quiet Place and A Star is Born, the 2018 film with Lady Gaga. I got really interested in it, and he enjoyed my story. For some reason, the professor asked me if I wanted to write a script. Sort of like for practice. I thought he was out of his mind when he asked that. If I could barely write 1 page alone, what made him think I could write 80 pages? Time passed, and I would think about what he had said to me. I would still create stories in my head, so I thought, why not? That story I gave him was really close to me. Maybe it would be easy to do it. I went ahead and did, and it was the most amazing and memorable moment in my life. Obviously, I didn't write it good at all, but the process of going through it, creating the characters, creating the world, planning out the background of each character, and the obstacles they overcome, it was truly beautiful to me. This got me into screenwriting, to learn more and to achieve greatness. I thank the professor for getting me into script writing, and to William as well, sort of. Although him negatively affecting me was painful, I would still like to thank him as well for getting my 10th grade self to writing that story.